Hi, I'm Andy from MTZ Pools. Today we have Josh who's going to talk to us about the high efficiency filtration system for in-ground pools. So Josh, why don't you start by telling us about the pump?
So yeah, we have a variable speed pump here made by Aquastar. It has a controller on the back of it, so we can change the RPMs of this pump to any speed we want. So we're going to match this pump speed to the size of the pool. The idea here is we want to run this pool 24 hours a day at a low speed, and that there will save us a lot of money in electricity down the road. So we do have 2.5-inch plumbing coming in. We can have 2.5 or 2 coming out. So it's going to go from there on to our filter system.
Okay. Now, speaking of the filter system, this looks like a cartridge system.
It is a cartridge filter.
Yeah, now I have one of these, and man, it is a pain to open up and to clean the cartridges.
It can be, yes.
How about this one?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. So we have a locking ring on the top here. We have a big air bleeder. So you would turn your pump off. You would open up your air bleeder to let some air in and allow the water to come down inside. And when it gets down a little bit, you can come in here and open this up by just pulling up on these levers. Wow. Click, very easy. Now that first click, it doesn't come off. So if you forget to turn your pump off and you open that up, it's not going to blow up in your face. It's going to catch it, and you'll see the water spew out right away. So you remember to turn your pump off. So once again, then one more time, come around and off it comes.
How easy is that?
Right. So you can set that down. This here you can grab, pull your filter right on out. Clean it up or put a fresh one in if you like. A lot of people buy a second filter so they can swap it out quick and then clean the one clean that one when they get time.
But we clean them. You guys clean them here, right?
We also clean them here, yeah.
Yeah, we also offer filter cleaning, deep cleanse as we call it. Bring it in for 24 hours. We'll soak it, degrease it, and have it all set for you. Okay. Now this next part over here, ultra UV, ultraviolet water treatment. Now, I don't know really much of anything about this. Is it a substitute for chlorine?
It's not a substitute. You still need chlorine, but UV will kill 99.9% all bacteria. There's 2 lamps in there that do that. It's going to kill bacteria that is resistant to chlorine that chlorine cannot kill or not in a timely manner. So the UV definitely plays an important role here. It's also going to kill that bacteria and keeping the chlorine from having to kill it all. So that chlorine is going to get reduced. Your chlorine usage is going to get reduced by about 50%.
Wow.
So, yep.
And from there we go to the electric heat pump. I'll let you tell them about.
Yeah, so our electric heat pumps here. So it's like it looks like an air conditioning unit. It basically is in a sense, except for it works in reverse. It doesn't cool, it heats. It produces heat and puts that right in the water. So you're using electricity instead of natural gas. A lot of people say, yeah, but natural gas is cheaper than electricity. And you're right about that when you're buying the product itself. However, your gas heater at best is 83% efficient. When that thing's running and the exhaust is coming out, you feel that. That's a lot of hot air and a lot of dollar bills going up in the air. With the electric heat pump, when this thing's working and moving, there's no off bleed of heat. It goes in the water, so they're basically 100% efficient here. Every dollar you're spending to make this thing move and run inside is going in that water.
And finally, the last part, I will tell you what I know about these. This right here is a chlorine generator. And having taken care of pools all over Western New York, the pools that run on these salt systems are always the cleanest and the clearest.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're manufacturing your own chlorine right on site here, rather than having to buy raw chlorine and handle it. And another reason for it being easier to take care of is the fact that the chlorine that it produces is very close to neutral. It's actually a little bit higher. So it is going to drive your pH and alkalinity up, but it's a slower process and you're not going to have to balance it as often. Aside from chlorine tabs, which are very, very acidic, they're very low in pH, and it's a weekly procedure to have to balance that pool so that the water doesn't become unsafe.
Not to mention the salt water. It's not as salty as the ocean, but the water just feels great on your skin.
Sure.
Okay.
And you can couple that with the UV system as you see here. in this setup I have here, there's nothing wrong with that because that UV system is still going to do its job and it's still going to reduce your chlorine by 50%. I understand you're making it on site, but that's wear and tear on the machine. So if you can reduce the amount that this thing has to run, you're going to save money down the road having to replace parts and stuff. Another thing too is if you decide you didn't want salt and you wanted to go with the chlorine tabs, we would put a chlorinator on, something like this, and you would fill this with chlorine tabs and it'd have a valve on there that you could adjust. And that's where you're definitely going to want this with the UV system, and that would make a really good sanitation system.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Josh.
Yep.
Stop and see us today at MTZ Pools and Spas.
Thank you.